and welcome to the Stream of Chaos. My name is Art, and I will be your keeper of arcane lore for this session of Call of Cthulhu. Today we will be continuing our playthrough of And Some Fell on Stony Ground. It's so hard to say that for some reason, which comes from the Nameless Horrors source book, which you can get your own copy of from chaosium.com. I don't have the little intro in front of me, so that was all done from memory. Haha! So, if you want to see us, if you want to catch up on any of our previous episodes, you can find them all. They are uploaded to YouTube at some time during the week, time zones. And if you want to catch us live, which surprise you're doing now if you're actually on Twitch with us, hello. We stream every week on Twitch at, I believe, it's currently 3 p.m. Pacific time. It changes because time zones. I think that's everything I have to... Oh, no, of course. We have to thank Roll20 and Sirenscape for being amazing tools, which we use to make our games phenomenal. And now I think that's everything I had to go from memory. Hell yeah. I've not had enough coffee this morning. And with that, I'm going to hand it over to Alex to introduce herself and a character.
Hi, I'm Alex. I'm playing Eloise Butcher, the school mom, the very devout, very kind of bask in God's love kind of type, which I'm sure will last phenomenally right up to the final scenes.
Thank you, Alex. And Dave?
Yeah, g'day, I'm Dave and I'm playing Fred Schenk. I'm the local barber, pretty happy-go-lucky kind of fella, although things have gotten a bit rough recently. And why do I feel like they're gonna get worse still?
Talking of getting worse, Jackson.
Hey, I'm Worse, and I'm Jackson, and I'm playing Annabelle Hearn, who was until recently a kitchen hand / waitress at what was it? Elmo's Steakhouse.
It's Elmo's now.
You know, that is actually, I think that's the actual name of the place in Indianapolis.
Elmo's Steakhouse.
Elmo's Steakhouse. There you go. Maybe that's what they were going for. Until recently, she was fired for no goddamn reason, but that's okay. Now she can spend more time on her activism work.
Thank you, Jackson. And I guess talking of activism, but random aside, Jim.
I think that my character Wesley,
Make a political
Wesley
statement,
Frost.
Jim. Be an activist first. Say something really confrontational.
I think my character Wesley Frost is the least activist person who has ever strode across the face of the earth. I think he was pushed into banking because it seemed like a nice, stable, normal thing to do. I think he's never had an independent thought in his life apart from how terrible everything is around him and how he fears it all. I am Wesley Frost, and life's actually kind of going okay for me. The problem is I don't have the skills to keep it that way, so I'm really just hoping that nothing bad happens.
Thank you all. So we pick up on March 1st, Wednesday. It is the morning. Spring has just sprung. The world is waking up. And as it does so, the four of you wake up with it.
You have a year?
No. Mostly
Don't ask
because...
again.
You can't have a year, I'm afraid. I was going to maybe make it a leap year and then went, no, that'll date the entire session.
Why?
And there's like 8 or 9 different years of dates that if I keep this wibbly wobbly, I can kind of insert certain information in it without being wrong.
Gotcha. Unfortunately, you have just told us that March 1st was a Wednesday.
I mean, that
so
is
in a few minutes, I'll be able to tell you the year. Please don't let me interrupt. Don't let me sideline us.
Wednesday.
You know what? This is going to be a little bit more of a loose session because that's just how it rolls sometimes. So it's fine. Derailed already. But hey, it's spring. It's March. You're waking up. And hey, guess what? Y'all live in a town. Y'all got day jobs. And as much as it would be fantastic to be able to throw off the yoke of capitalism and just start digging in immediately into investigations and working out what the hell's going on, you do in fact actually have lives you have to live and jobs you got to go to and the things you kind of got to do outside, of course, maybe Annabelle.
There
although
are
you
things
do
she has to
have-
do.
There are things she has to do, and she's got an old mum to look after. So
That's
you've
right.
still got to try and make your way in the world. So, on that note, who would like to go first? With the exception, Jackson, I'm going to say of Annabelle. We'll get to you in a little bit because
Yeah, I have a
she's got
very
bit more
normy
of a-
job and no real problems. Let's go.
hell yeah!
What
All
else
right.
could happen?
So, Eloise, could you give us just a brief snapshot of what your morning looks like as you get yourself ready and begin a standard morning of teaching?
Well, I turfed my mother out later the evening prior after she listened to my radio ad nauseum. And I needed to get to bed, even though her stories were not finished. So I'd walked her home fairly late. Didn't get quite as much sleep as I'd perhaps like to. You know, a little bit restless evening, thinking of the Ken from the grocery store barreling down the hallway trying to eat me. So a few disturbed dreams there, but getting up quite early to kind of potter about, clean the kitchen and, you know, put away the mugs from last night's tea and get myself some breakfast, something, maybe make some eggs and toast and very normal kind of morning. Stroll down to the schoolhouse. I live in a cottage just around the corner, or really still on the same property, but, you know, behind the school buildings, and stroll down into the staff room to start my day with my nice little neat packed lunch in a brown paper bag and looking as put together as I possibly can, maybe a little bit frazzled and tired, but, you know, school teacher, that's what happens.
Indeed it is. And after dealing with the wonderful collection of young minds that you have to imbue knowledge upon, frazzled is perhaps not always where you start the day, but it is usually where you end it.
Yeah.
But as you walk into the staff room in the morning, you can see the school is small, and it does cater to a range of age groups. You are one of the teachers who helps to educate the small populace of this town. But because it is a relatively small town, there is a bit of a mix of ages. You've got your elementary in America, isn't it? The Babs, I think. The what we would call primary school here.
Yeah, yeah.
Elementary. The young ones. There's a bit of a split as they get a bit older into sort of the early teens or tween years, and then you've got a few of the older students, although a lot of the older students either end up leaving school to go and apprentice or work in their family businesses.
I think it's like a middle school kind of top outs. Yeah. Beyond that, most people do a trade, and if they do want to be further educated, they kind of go to a city school or somewhere with a little bit, a few more resources.
Exactly. So your oldest students here might be 15 or 16, but there's a fair number of the younger ones that come in. You are predominantly some of the slightly older students with your sort of background in an interest in science. You are able to sort of give them a better grounding in mathematics and science and sort of the humanities. But you can see one of the schoolmistresses who's a little bit, who's probably slightly younger than you, similar age, but who takes the younger students, you know her as Miss Katie Catherine Cartwright. And she's looking a little frazzled as she's flicking through a book. You can see a steaming mug of tea next to her, which is sort of been slightly pushed aside and forgotten, as she's sort of going and sort of making kind of noises as she flips through this book.
Good morning, Katie dear.
Oh, hello, Eloise. How are you? Good morning.
Well, you know, a little bit tired today. I suspect I might be getting a little bit of that spring hay fever. How about you, though? You look a little under the weather yourself.
Oh no, I'm fine. I was going through the roll call, and I've noticed a couple of students haven't been in class the last couple of days. And I just a little concerned.
Are your young ones?
Well, yeah. I mean, so you're familiar with the Ferguson twins, yes?
Yes,
Stony,
yes.
Maxine?
Of course.
Well, we haven't seen them in class since, well, I think last week. Although there is an indication that they might have been here early on Monday morning. And then we've also got Brad Smith and Todd Coombs, who you know are two of these slightly more rambunctious 10-year-old boys.
Yeah.
Shirley and Maxine are a little older. They are both 12. But at this point, they're sort of in the same age bracket for class. She says they haven't been in, well, about the same amount of time, I think. Again, there's some indication that they might have been here in the morning, but I cannot put my finger on having seen them at all yesterday. I'm just...
And nothing from the parents? No note, no telegram, nothing?
No, that's the oddest thing. I did call the Ferguson house yesterday. Didn't get any response, which, I mean, they're busy people, so it's understandable. And the boys, well, no. Nothing from either of them. I'm sure... as children get older, they do tend to like to run off and do their own things. So
10 years old is really not that old.
Well, no.
I'll tell you what, Miss Katie, I've got a free period this afternoon where where my older students will be working on a larger assignment. I could go over and just knock on the door and see what's going on with them. If that would be of help to you, the older children are doing a study group, and I can have the librarian keep an eye on them.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, I try and go myself, but
it's a little bit more difficult with the young ones.
It really is, but I can keep an eye on your class if they're just going to be sitting and doing some study period work. That'd fine. Give you a chance to step away and maybe check on them. That would be. I mean, we really can't have children going missing when they're meant to be in our care.
Nobody's missing. They're just skiving off. Which is, I mean, if it's okay with the parents, there's not really anything we can do. But like, we've been seeing a greater and greater degree of dropout from education, and I think it's a tragedy that.
Deplorable. But
yeah,
what are you going to do?
I would like to see far more of our students move into the city for their further education. And if they're dropping out to do an apprenticeship, 15, 16 years old, I can live with that. Younger than that, though, I mean, do we really want a town full of people who didn't go beyond the, 8th grade?
No, ideally, that is what we're here for. Well, if you wouldn't mind going and maybe just seeing if the parents are in, perhaps at least finding out where they are, so that we know that if they have been removed.
That experiment with the cola and the aspirin and the volcano thing, and maybe that'll get them interested and give them a reason to come back to school. Maybe they're just a little bit, you know how kids are.
That's much too. Thank you, Eloise. And you hear the bell, the school bell, get clanged for the beginning of the school day, and you are whisked away into...
Exchange a look with Katie and aside as the...
Oh, there is a deflation in the moment of the bell, and then you watch as her whole demeanor shifts into this bright sunny as she walks out, knowing full well that is the only way that you control small children. You must not let them know. You must not show weakness of any kind.
Show no fear.
Show no fear. And she sort of walks in, and you can hear as she like opens and closes the door. Good morning, class, and you hear good morning, Miss Scarlett, from within the door as you also walk in and greet your student.
I don't want to throw aspersions on poor Katie, but with behavior like that, are we sure that she's not behind the disappearing kids? Just all options entertained.
I mean,
we're not sure of anything
whatever
at this stage.
options make you happiest or most terrified, either or. So with that, we will move across to whomever else, James or Dave.
If Annabelle's going to be last, I might leap in before Fred, because I think
Definitely.
Fred's staying at my place.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yes, I believe
The
you are.
dudes just doing
And-
it up.
And I think I'm thinking of it as a little bit of a sleepover. I think I wake up quite early. I don't think the whole thing about my house is I think that it's kind of got everything it needs at the basics, but then I really haven't taken it any further because I don't really have the creativity to do so. So I think in my big like nice master bedroom there's no blinds, so I wake up at like a very unreasonable time as sunlight streams in. I come downstairs, I go to my fridge, opened up, it's got nothing in it, and this is a 1920s fridge too, so it was like a big investment to get, but all that's in it is like eggs, and I cook up like a feast for both of us, and it's just like a bunch of fried eggs, and that's it. And then like at 6:45, I'm like outside your door knocking, being like, I've got breakfast fixed for both of us.
That's interesting, because I'm definitely thinking of this as a more permanent. So you're thinking sleepover. I'm thinking short to long term rental. So by the time you've come in, I'm more set up in the spare room than you are in the main room. I've laid out my clothing. I've gotten your chest of drawers. I've opened that, and I've put in my little briefcase, like the 2 pairs of jocks I have in the second shirt. I need to get into town to get to work pretty soon. So if do you want to come in with me? The bank's nearby.
Yeah. I'll need to go in anyway, and I need to pick up a few things before I get in. But we can eat in the car.
Yeah, this is great, Wes. Wow, this is a lot of eggs.
We're gonna go off. In fact, 1 or 2 of them had.
And hopefully they're not.
Not in the food, like as in I check them first. That's
Okay, that's good. Did you get these eggs from Jensen, the fellow that we saw?
I have a route I do on the way back from work. I stop, I do my grocery shopping, usually just same kind of things, and then straight back home.
Oh yeah, well, it's a hell of a routine. No, I really appreciate this. And thank you so much for letting me stay with you, overnight and everything. I mean, just with everything going on, I'll tell you what, though, it's a new day. I feel healed. I feel a little better after being bitten by our, one-time acquaintance.
Yeah.
I'm feeling like it's a new day. I want to get out there. I want to seize it. I want to get to work. I want to meet people. I want to see what's going on in town. Maybe it's all settled down.
That all makes sense to me. I guess, yeah, let's jump in the car and get moving.
All right.
And we shall do so.
I eat as many eggs as I can physically stomach. I'm looking to please. I don't want Wesley to feel uncomfortable about cooking up 18 eggs. I want him to think 9 apiece was a reasonable amount.
So you're going full gas dog.
Just the right amount of eggs, Wesley. You know me so well. I love 9 eggs in the morning. This is perfect.
I'm glad to hear it.
I feel
I don't really pack a lunch,
healthy.
so I just try to get a big breakfast in,
Yeah, I'm probably not going to get lunch either.
So the two of you get into Wesley's fine automobile and make your way into town. You will be able to drop Fred off on Main Street on your way to the bank, Wesley.
Am I going to be able to get a lift with you home this evening, Wes? I'll see you.
Sure, yeah. I'll swing past and pick you up when I'm done work.
I'll tell you what, I know as a thank you for all the eggs, I might swing by and try and bring you lunch too. So I'll see if I can drop in.
Sure, yeah. Well, that sounds great. I'll expect to see you then around maybe 1 o'clock.
All right. Well, you have a wonderful day. And I'll hop out and head.
Brilliant.
I'm almost tempted to make you make a charm roll just to see whether or not Wesley can pick up that you're doing that. But that
this isn't a front either. Fred is just like kind of pretty happy like a friendly guy. I'm trying to
I mean, genuinely, as you said, we all went to school together. This is it's probably I think it. I will say though, I think that leading into I'm not actually great at my job. I compensate in other ways. So before I go into the bank, I stop past the bakery and pick up I don't know, like some nice fresh bread and a couple of like cooked tarts. I'm the person who brings in like food for everyone all the time, and I know everyone's day, what they're up to, how they're going, and do a little circuit that I get to my desk and kind of just white knuckle it until I'm allowed to leave.
I love that as a little like
just trembling like one of those really
routine.
small dogs to the whole
I've
day,
got all
and
these
hoping no
notebooks
one looks at you.
that I'm like writing in all day, so it looks like I'm working, but it's like help again and again in pages.
So let's follow you through your routine this morning. So you drop Fred off and you go into the bakery, and one of the things that you note this morning, and you would have noticed yesterday morning, and possibly Monday as well, that the bakery, at least for the last few days, has been doing a roaring trade. Now, this is Mrs. Baker's diner, which is, you've got the steakhouse and the diner are sort of the two main fooderies, if you will, outside of the general store and groceries and that kind of thing. And Mrs. Baker's diner has always been relatively popular. You know, she's known for the filter coffee and the pancakes and waffles and sort of that kind of food. And also baked goods, like she does have fresh bread, muffins, that kind of thing. But it really has been, she seems to be doing quite a roaring trade. And as you open the door and you hear the little bell, ding, as you walk in, there's kind of a bit of a hubbub as people are waiting, chatting to each other. And you can smell just the most enticing, sweet smell of like syrup. It's got a slight like spicy undertone to it. It is just like heady in here, as it is not only like full of people, but this like smell of fresh baked stuff, baked goods, with this kind of sweet, spicy overtone to it. And you can see Mrs. Baker at the counter, almost holding court in that way that sort of friendly middle-aged women do. And you know, slowly, so you waiting, and eventually you get up to their counter. He says, "Good morning, dearie. What can I get for you this morning?"
Hello, Miss Baker. It's good to see you. I was going to just take my I was going to say just take my standard order, but I think whatever. Are you cooking something new? What's that smell?
Oh, I've been experimenting with some new flavors for my pancake syrup. Everyone seems to be so delighted with it, and I genuinely cannot get my mind off just the kind of interesting, unique sort of flavoring profiles you can get in a simple sugary syrup. You know what I mean?
Well, I don't, but I'd like to. Could I get a little sample pack to bring down to the bank?
Why, certainly. Is there anything specific you're after flavor-wise?
I leave it to the expert.
Oh, all right. Just you wait a moment. And it's the usual coffee order, is it, dearie?
That's right. Yes, please.
She turns around. You can see that there's like a couple of you assume to be like maybe her daughters or possibly grandchildren who are helping behind the counter. She's just on one of them, and they go and scurry off to get you coffee. And she another one like walks up to start to continue taking orders, and she ducks behind the counter to disappear off into the kitchen. As you're standing and waiting, you can like there's a couple of other people who see and hear that conversation, and one of them turns to you and goes, what she's doing, it's amazing. You can smell it, right?
I'm excited. I mean, what she does is pretty amazing all the time, but I'm always pleased to have a big breakfast though.
It doesn't take too long, and she comes back and she's got a small little like package of a couple of different containers of different like syrup things, as well as a small stack of beautiful, fluffy, like golden pancakes that are just sitting. She goes, "You can't have syrup if you don't have something to try it on, so I've given you a couple of pancakes. Let me know what you think about each of these, and let me know if any of them give you a sort of a feeling." Do you understand my meaning? Just if it evokes anything in you.
I'll do so. Okay, sure. I'll thank her very much and take things, get ready to leave. But before I go, though, could I just cast a quick eye around I mean, it's like you said, it's a hubbub, it's a gathering place, it's where everyone from the town is. Do I spot any of the people or people connected to any of the people that we were discussing last night? So that is to say, do I spot any of my sister's family? I presume, spot the owner of the diner. I presume I don't spot the bank manager. I'll probably meet him at the bank. I'm not spotting anyone like that.
Go ahead and make a spot hidden roll for me.
Let's find out. We're right with you.
Those are like boozed up pancakes, right? It is prohibition. That's what she meant by your buzz or whatever.
I'm filled up with pancakes.
You don't spot anyone like the specific people you mentioned. No, you don't spot anyone that you've sort of like your sister or the Leonard Elmer, who's the proprietor of Elmer's Steakhouse, or perhaps was. What you do notice, as you've taken a step away from the counter, and you're kind of casting your eye around this sea of people who are very keen to come in and get the pancakes for breakfast or baked goods. And as Mrs. Baker takes another order and then steps into the kitchen, you sort of catch a glimpse at the inside of the kitchen area, and you can see that there's like the standard sort of flour and sugar, like bags of flour and sugar and that sort of thing. But you notice some other like tins or bags that look a little out of place. It one set like kind of looks like cleaning products, perhaps, which is not unusual to have in a bakery, but to have it sitting on the same shelf as like the sugar and flour. You can see a couple of like bunches of dried herbs or flowers or that kind of thing, which again, like, not unreasonable to have those as a decoration, but again, to have them like in the same place as ingredients is a bit of a strange one. And then you also see that some of her equipment seems to have been disassembled a little. Like a couple of like the dials on the oven have been removed, or like you can see a stirring spoon that's been like broken in half or like broken into pieces. And it's just a very odd interior to be looking at. And I will give you that, like, on that spot hidden, essentially it's not that any of this stuff is strange in and of itself. It is as a collection. You look at it and you go, no, that scene is not, the snapshot you get is no.
So something a little suspicious, something a little weird happening. I did just find out that in 1922 Nosferatu came out, so I immediately think they're putting people in the anyway. I'll make my hasty escape. I probably, just to not slip too much of the time, I probably kind of quietly end up at the bank, hand out the goods. But I probably don't try and get to the manager or anything like that until I have support from my new lunch friend, who I know will be arriving, because 2 is going to be better than 1 to do that.
Well, for one thing, I think your camera is first.
Yes,
I hope it wasn't just
Oh,
me.
yeah.
No, yes, little bit of an error on my side. I'll try to sort it out. Please put me to the side.
No, all right, that's all good. Well, what we will do then is, as you,
yeah, because it's going to freeze at any point.
Worried.
That's pretty good.
I might.
Everyone together now.
As what we will do then is, as you pull up outside the like columned stone hefty building that is the bank, you notice that there is a crowd of people outside, not a very large one, but like a small crowd of people, and there appears to be a couple more people standing security than usual outside the bank.
Okay. Good to know. Thank you.
I've just hidden your camera, Jim, so give me a yell when you come back.
Appreciate it. Thank you. I will do.
All right. So in that case, we'll jump over to our friend the Barber.
Yeah,
Fred.
baby. Speaking of putting people in things.
So what does your morning routine look like as you get into work?
Yeah. So I think Fred's comes in, opens up the shop, puts out does a little clean, runs along, puts out the open sign, and then sits down in one of the barber's chairs with the paper that's been dropped off this morning, happily unfurls it, and begins to have a read. He quickly forgets all of his worries. He forgets about the load, he forgets about everything, as he has himself a sensible chuckle reading the funnies.
Delightful. Would you like to make a library use check for me?
Yeah. And he's also got a song stuck in his head that he can't play.
Mm-hmm.
Nor can we play for copyright reasons.
Hang on.
Not a problem.
Oh, this has been a whole thing. Oh, I hate it when... all right, I'm going to show myself here. We might have 2 Daves. Oh, we do. I'll hide myself. Nope, that's in Alex's. There we go. Yeah, sorry, library use. Yep. No! No, that's a fumble. I did it, damn it. I'm lost in the music. Or something way worse. Whichever.
This is so great. I love how everything breaks at once.
What am I gonna... All right, okay. Do you have anything that you would like to propose for this fumble, Dave? Do you have anything that you think would be particularly fun or interesting? If I have an idea, but...
If it's an escalation thing, I think my back is to the door and I'm completely engrossed if someone wants to come and clobber the hell out of me. If that's... I don't really know what the threat might be. Otherwise,
you know what? I think perhaps... There's gonna be
I see my
things.
house up. I see my house up for sale on the market. What the hell? I haven't even.
That's pretty good.
I haven't even defaulted.
That's pretty
yet,
good,
you bastards. And I immediately storm off to the bank.
I will give you 2 things.
Hit me.
One is that the paper is absolutely 100% normal. You really do completely forget about all of the troubles and woes of the last 24 hours. You have a sensible chuckle. Everything is fine in the world.
Yeah, I feel.
And honestly, like, reading this truly does make it, like, you're just like, everything's normal. What was I even thinking? This is ridiculous. Like, I'm barking up trees.
Yeah.
The other thing is that little ditty that's going on in your head, you're not going to know where this came from, but I'm going to tell everyone because we're all good at playing around information that we have as players, but not as characters, and also it's fun for the audience. As you were let out of the car and walking along Main Street, there was a kind of, like, not unpleasant, but definitely discordant kind of tune playing on the radio as you were walking past one of the stores, and that's just kind of like wormed its way into the back of your head, and you've made a pleasant ditty out of it, but there's something that's kind of stuck its way in there. And what I'm going to ask you to do is I'm going to ask you to make me a sanity check. Nothing's going to happen, but I'd like one from you.
Yeah. Fumble it. Fail.
That's very suspicious.
Yeah.
Nothing happens.
Okay.
You continue your morning.
That's even more suspicious.
But I'm going to note that you have a failed sanity against some against a little ditty.
Some-
Really a worm. Real bop.
And some
Just
nonsense.
a real earworm. You are going to get a bit of shock as you are engrossed in this paper, as there is a rap on the door, and you see like a figure standing, sort of slightly silhouetted in the morning light behind the door.
Excuse me, I thought I had unlocked this already. I'll open up and welcome whoever it is in.
You are familiar with this person. This is Laurie from Luscious Laurie's salon, literally just down the road from you. She is the ladies' salon owner. You and her being both people who own barber salon, like hairdressing establishments and grooming establishments. Whether or not, how friendly a terms you're on really doesn't matter to her. What she's most interested in is gossip. And
Me
she
too.
comes in, not every morning, but most mornings with a nice steaming cup of coffee, which she brings you when she comes in, and goes, oh, Fred. Nope, which one are you? Fred.
Fred.
No, good morning, Fred. How are you doing this morning, love? I got you your coffee. Now tell me, what have you heard?
You are a lifesaver. I appreciate it. I tell you what, it's looking quiet out there. Why don't you sit down? And I turn the thing back to close.
She sits down in one of like the big comfortable leather barber's chairs. She's a relatively well done up, probably like slightly older than you. She's probably in her like mid 30s, in a very nice sort of like knee length skirt and sort of jacket combination, hair done up wonderfully. She's very well put together. None of her clothes are particularly like expensive, but she is very well put together. And she's got a set of those like cat's rim like glasses that she wears. She's blind as a bat otherwise, but she sits down, crosses one leg over the other, and sort of like leans forward and goes, now tell me what you've heard, darling. I've got so much to share.
Sounds like she brings the coffee and the tea.
She really does.
Well, if you've got something, I suspect I can top it. Would you believe? Where do you think I got this from? And I pull my sleeve back and then show her the bandage first. Can't see the
She goes, oh, wonderful. What did you get up to, Fred?
I was attacked. What? By Kenneth.
Never. Kenneth?
Yeah.
What?
From
You stuck it down at the grocery? Oh,
Yeah,
never.
yeah. Oh no, it's worse than that though. He came. I was catching up with Wesley and Annabelle and Eloise. We went to school together. We were catching up for a little bit.
Yes.
And would you believe it? Kenneth broke into Wesley's house and attacked us. Yeah, he tried to bite me, and I tried to wrestle him. No. It's worse though. It's all a bit unfortunate actually.
It's worse.
Well, no, the deputy shot him. He's dead. Kenneth's dead.
Are you telling me we've got a real life conspiracy going on, darling? Oh my goodness!
I don't think it's a conspiracy. All right, I think it's a miscommunication, is what it is. I think things got a little heated.
You know as well as I do, darling, that those people in charge, well, they have plenty of things that they want to keep under their hats, don't they?
Well, look, I think we can trust the deputy and the sheriff. I think they're looking out for us, really. And honestly, I'm just glad he was there, because as unfortunate as it was, there was a real risk of someone else getting hurt. I mean, I'm just glad it was me. You know, I mean, Eloise, Annabelle, Wes, it would have been a real shame for them to, we'll have a chunk taken out of their arm.
She puts her arm like on your arm,
Ow!
and pats and goes, "Oh, not you." Yeah. Oh, sorry, darling. So brave. You're such a hero.
That's my mistake. Put it right in front of you. Okay, sorry.
I mean, I can't say I have anything quite uninteresting, but now that you've told me all about that, see, I went to see the sheriff just the other day because, Mrs. McDermott, Gladys.
Oh, Gladys. Remind me.
You would be passingly familiar with Gladys McDermott. She, I believe, is, I can double check, but I think is a similar age to you, so would have been at school around the same time. Okay. Just one of the sort of families in town. she and Andrew McDermott are one of the families, the couples.
Okay.
But she goes, well, Gladys McDermott comes in, as you like, every few weeks for, a little touch-up, a little bit of the old...
Bit of your magic.
You know me, love. Everyone... Look, you know as well as I do that certain types of people like to try and avoid some of the consequences of aging. Nudge, nudge, wink, wink, say no more.
So I know, yes.
Well, she comes in every couple of weeks just to make sure that it's nice and fresh. No grey to be seen. She missed her appointment yesterday.
Missed it.
I gave her a call. Nothing in the house. So I had a chat, to someone who works with Mr. McDermott. I got told that they hadn't seen him either. So I got very concerned, I did. So I went round to their house and I said, I'll knock on the door and I'll just make sure they're all right. No one's home. No car. So I goes round to the sheriff and I say, well, the deputy, and I say, deputy, you know Gladys McDermott and Andrew McDermott, you know the McDermotts, they're round about town. Well, she was meant to come in for her hair that was done and he hasn't been spoken to in like a day or two and their car's not home. And I says, well, now I'm concerned that they're missing. And you know what he says to me?
What's he say?
He says, Laurie, take your head out of the clouds. Everything's fine. They've probably just gone on holiday.
Oh, you scared me at the beginning of that story. Holiday. Well, of course that's what's happened. They're probably having a lovely time somewhere. I mean, it is just getting into spring.
Yes, but why would Mrs. McDermott not have rescheduled her appointment?
Oh, well.
They're important to her.
Maybe there was a romantic. They just hopped in the car and drove. I mean, one can only imagine these things happen. I mean, it's a fair sight more likely than anything sinister.
I mean,
you don't think it's something sinister?
You're the one who was just telling me you were attacked,
Oh,
darling.
only lightly. I was barely bitten.
Fred, listen to yourself. Do you really think that this isn't some massive conspiracy?
If it was, I mean, But how can it be connected? I mean, Kenneth, the deputy, the McDermotts, it all seems a bit grand for here. I mean, this is a small town. Nothing ever happens here.
Everything happens in small towns. That's what my novels have told me.
Well, they are fine novels. I do need to return the one that I borrowed to you as well. I found it all a bit exciting.
You did you enjoy it?
It was
I really
good.
like her writing. The detective and everything, such fun.
You know, detective's a good word for it. You know what would happen if this were one of the stories?
Mm-hmm.
We'd do investigating, wouldn't we?
Oh,
We'd go and find out what happened, wouldn't we? That'd be a bit of fun.
Well, that's a very good idea. Well, maybe I'll do a bit more asking around town, just see if anyone knows where the McDermotts have gone.
Well, better be safe in case it's a real conspiracy. Wouldn't want to end up like Kenneth. I didn't. Look,
Fred,
I'm sure it's fun.
Don't you worry. You let me know when you're done with that novel. I'll give you another one, and you tell me if you hear anything interesting from your customers. Don't get yourself bit again, all right? And if you need another coffee, you let me know. And she pats your other arm, and then we'll go, oh, look at the time. I've got someone coming in just a moment. I'll see you later, Fred, dear.
All right,
and gets
I'll
up and
see
flusters her way out.
Detective Shank. Detective Fred Shank on the case. Give me the clues. I'm facing the mirror and trying a couple of poses. Detective
What
Fred
you will
Shank.
see is as you're in the mirror, you catch a glimpse of a couple of out mirrors sort of out the door. You see a couple of of the bailiffs who are walking down Main Street. Actually, you'd probably catch that of them in a car. of cars, like a car with a couple of bailiffs in it that are making their way down, sort of more towards the section of town that you would have your house in. Just generally in that direction. And you sort of catch that as you're sort of talking to yourself about detectives and.
Conspiracy. Conspiracy to take my house, my home, my house where I live.
We'll leave you there for the moment.
Leave away.
Annabelle.
Yes.
What has your morning entailed so far?
I am glad you asked. Since it is Wednesday, March 1st, I can tell you the year is 1922, which is just after the ratification of the, what was it, the Ninth Amendment? Heck, I thought I'd done my research.
Well, for anyone watching at home,
19th Amendment, the 19th Amendment, which in theory granted the right for women to vote, but actually, in practicality, the problem they're having right now is that when a woman gets married, she immediately has the same citizenship as her husband, which means that a woman born in the United States and a citizen can marry a non-citizen, and she loses her citizenship and therefore loses her right to vote. So right now, the National Women's Party, as organized by Alice Paul, is advocating for the Equal Rights Amendment, which will kind of level the field in terms of men and women and make sure everyone's got the same rights for all. So that is what we are doing. So to answer your question, now that I've established the historical background of the situation, she's just writing letters to the editor, letters to all the newspapers, letters to her representatives, letters to, representatives of other states, just writing. That's all you can do. That's all you have to do. That's all you can do is just make noise, squeaky, be the loudest squeaky wheel you can.
It's hard to get a grassroots movement going with all of this stony ground.
Ooh, that's very good.
Write that down.
So that's the plan, is right, because it is a small town and it's been hard to, I think, muster any kind of, physical demonstrations and marches. I think Annabelle probably went to the White House at some stage to participate in the Silent Sentinels, which was a group of silent protesters outside President Woodrow Wilson's White House. But as long as she's stuck here, and since she doesn't have a job, she's just got to write. Does that help? I don't know if it helps the scenario to say that she's just spent the morning at home at a writing desk.
It definitely helps the scenario for place and time. It doesn't help me for the stuff that I've got in my head for various dates. So for anyone watching at home, if you hear anything about like any kind of, scientific discoveries that are well before their time, just ignore it.
That's fine.
Okay,
it's an alternate universe where things got shifted around, but my research is still valid. That's fine with me.
So are you doing this in your mum's house? And that's where you live with your
yes,
mother?
she lives with me.
Yep.
Feels like
Yes.
you live with your mum.
Your mother and you live together in the house that you grew up in.
Who was there first?
Yes,
is what I want to know.
true.
So you're going about your morning fervently writing letters. Is Annabelle, based on everything we've got so far, I feel like Annabelle's quite a focused person. She doesn't really let her attention wander too much.
That's right. She has a to-do list. She has, the letters that she needs to write, the correspondence she needs to pick up with this editor of the newspaper, and why, she needs to publish this she needs to have this letter published. I think she probably puts a few hours aside to it, does as much as she can, and then eventually she has to return the task of, the business of not having a job.
Well, in that case, would you be so kind as to give me a listen roll with a penalty dice?
A listen while I'm sitting at home with a penalty die?
Correct.
I don't have high hopes. Not a fumble.
Okay. So you are very focused. We'll say that you're in sort of towards the back of the house, where like the sort of more studious area is. The front of the house is generally, especially in some of the houses around this period, you would have your main living area in the front of the house where guests can be received, and a lot of the more sort of like study areas, your main sort of your bedrooms, things that need to be quieter would be towards the back of the house.
That makes sense.
So you
Hence
are
penalty rolls.
sequestered away in, a small kind of writing and reading room. While your family is not particularly well off, you are not by any stretch of the imagination poor. So, even for a slightly lower socioeconomic family and a slightly lower socioeconomic town, you still all, like the houses at this time period, they all have, multiple bedrooms, probably only a single bathroom, but a kitchen, a small study area, a nice living area, because we're not quite at the point where everyone has to live in shoeboxes in giant apartment complexes. Not yet,
Ooh,
but we're getting
spoilers.
Spoilers. So what you will still catch this, but you only hear it when it is through. So you are riding away, and what you don't hear is a knock on the front door and your mother letting someone in.
Scandalous.
There is sort of a low bit of conversation. Probably like because you don't hear when they come in, you're not sure how long, but at one point you perk up because you hear the sound of conversation at the front door as someone is being farewelled and thanked.
Ooh.
You can hear your mother saying, "Oh, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. I was having such trouble." And you can sort of just catch the edge of sort of like a thank you and a farewell.
I will perk up at that and head out and try to catch a glimpse of whoever was just leaving. And and then wave my mum down.
Sure.
Margaret, who was that at the door?
Oh, hello, dear. It was just do you remember Mrs. Brady, your old school teacher?
Yes, of course.
Yeah, I asked her to come round because I was having some trouble with the radio. It wasn't quite picking up. The signal was a bit, we had a bit of interference, and she's always had an interest in the new crystal radios. I heard from someone else in town that she'd been able to help them, so I asked her to come round this morning. She did, and the radio seems to be working fine now.
That's fine.
Are you all right, dear?
Yes. It just there were some strange happenings in town yesterday, and everyone seems to be acting a bit odd. That's all I'll say. But I'm sure it's nothing to worry about.
Oh dear, Annabelle. When we live at she comes over and she takes your hand. She just pats it and goes, "Annabelle, dear, I know you are a very passionate young woman, and I'm very, very proud of everything you've achieved so far. Small towns are odd places, and we try not to look too hard at our neighbours lest they look too hard at us. Keep our noses in our own business, for the most part. We try and help each other, be nice to each other. So, odd happenings, I wouldn't put too much stock in odd happenings. Wouldn't be the first time something odd happened in this place."
Well, Margaret, we have differences of opinion in this area, and you know that I happen to believe that progress only comes when we are open and honest about what we want and how we get it.
Yes, I know. She pats you again and goes, "Are you planning on spending all day in the study?
No, thank you. I've just about finished my writing for the morning, and I'm afraid I'll have to head out shortly and take a meeting with Mr. Elmer. Don't think I've told her about the loss of the job.
Oh, are you in trouble?
No, why would you say that?
Generally, conversations with one's bosses. I was just checking.
I'm glad you were just checking. Perhaps you'd like to enjoy your stories now, Margaret?
You can call me Mother.
I know I can, but I also know that your existence is not defined by whether or not you gave birth to another being or not. You are your own person in your own right. You deserve to be recognized as such.
Well, there's a sandwich all packed up in the fridge for you if you need it, and a pot of tea I just boiled for myself and Mrs. Brady. So if you want a nice warm cup of something before you head out, it's still a bit chilly, although thankfully spring is coming. But You have a nice day now, and you don't let that Mr. Elmer bully you at all.
Thank you.
Stand your ground, just like Tony.
I will,
Girl,
thank you.
Annabelle.
I am buoyed by
Get him.
this. Was there anything unusual about what's her face, Mrs. Brady, coming to visit the Vix the Radio?
I mean, you didn't see her.
I sure didn't. No, that's fine. I got other things to worry about. It was a fine seed, Art, but
do you want to check the radio, or are you?
No. If she fixed it, she says she fixed it. All right. I'll have a look at the radio. He's tempted me now. I'm curious. Now. Now you've done it.
I regret that.
Okay. So you go into the living area where the radio is, and you have a look at it. How familiar are you with radios, do you think?
I think not so much. I've got plenty of mechanical repairs, so that's kind of where my expertise lies. I think more so than electronics.
The radio would fall more under electrical.
That's right. Yeah.
Why don't you know what? I will give you this. You are welcome to make a mechanical repair roll just to see if you can sort of like, as someone who understands things what work.
That's right.
Alternatively, you can try an electrical repair if you want something a bit more specific, but I'm happy to allow you to roll a mechanical for some general sense of like, is this a thing what works? And
if anything,
does it happen to be working at the moment?
That's it. If anything, I'm a little bit annoyed that Margaret didn't think to ask me to take a look at it, but that's fine.
Would you like to make that mechanical repair?
Ooh. Well, now that is my second successful roll for the campaign.
So you're not going to get any information about like, you know, the actual internal workings of a radio. These are electrical devices.
How a radio do.
Exactly. What you are able to determine just by looking at this thing what works, being someone who is familiar with things what work and things what do a work, you are able to see. Doing my best. Come on.
No, it's great. Like let's keep mangling the language and see how intelligible we are.
Like how mechanical repair in any way relates to this, but y'all.
I can see like it.
Many rolls last session. I'm trying.
I know. I love it. No, I can like see like you know how damaged it was. Like, did she take it all apart? Are there like bits of debris lying around? What exactly did she have to do to fix it?
The radio looks in great condition. No more battered than it would have been originally. You can see that like it's quite clear that the back like casing had been taken off so that someone could have a look inside and adjust a few things. You with mechanical, not a problem to like open up the back of a radio, at least to take the casing off and put it back on without any damage. Like not a problem at all. In terms of the actual electronics inside, you're looking at them and you go, they kind of look like wires and shit. But what you do notice, more so than if you just like standard spot hidden, is it does look like the electronics inside are quite a bit more complicated than you would have initially expected them to look. And also there appears to be an extra like 1 or 2 antennae that have been like affixed into this to, you know, potentially assist the signal.
Extra antennae.
I think that's a plural of antenna.
No, yeah. It's
not my Greek/Latin is not right.
Not at all. I'm trying to decide if that's suspicious, but I guess not. More antennae make radio work gooder.
As someone who is not familiar with electronics and only mechanical, you are able to note the differences in the thing what works working different. But outside of that, that's about all you can really ascertain. You're able to put the casing back on, plop it down for your mother to listen to. No issues there.
This is why Eloise is fighting so hard for more education in our town. We need electrical expertise.
How does the radio work? How do I convert to PDF?
Could you please, while you're sort of in the front room, and as you're like getting ready to head out, could you go ahead and give me a spot hidden?
Ooh, I will spot all that is hidden. Success, finally.
So as you're working on this, you glance up and through the front window. and you see something that is very unusual.
Thank goodness.
You see Kenneth McCurdy walking down the road.
No, I don't, Art. He's dead. He died last night. So, you must be mistaken. What? I'm going to run outside.
Okay. You bolt outside and you can see, like, this person was sort of like walking past a little ways away. A hard spot hidden is what got you like sort of a bit of a, like, you're able to clock it not only through a window but at a bit of a distance. You're like, I swear that's Kenneth McCurdy. You duck outside. You are going to be able to catch with a hard spot hidden. I'll say that you are able to catch the back of this person as they turn down one of the side streets. But they are not within sort of like immediate grabbing range.
That's fine. I will pursue.
Okay.
If they are walking unhurriedly, I hope it won't be any trouble.
Well, like, I mean, they're walking as a lot of people, you know, they're going somewhere, so they're walking at pace. In the way that anyone would walk at pace to get from point A to point B. They're not ambling. They obviously have somewhere to be.
I will walk slightly faster than
that. All right.
+1.
How hot? Like, are you running? Are you walking? Are you trying to draw attention to yourself or not? What's the aim? Yeah.
That's a weird thing. That bothers me more than it should. A man died and he's walking around. But I'm probably mistaken. Like, but it's going to bother me if I don't ascertain that I'm mistaken. So
are you trying to like go up and speak to him, or are you trying to? Like,
I'll get a closer look. I'll get a closer look. It's the kind of thing that'll say as a bee in my bonnet if I don't positively identify this person.
Okay. And are you trying to stay out of sight or not?
No.
Okay.
Should I?
In that case, it's entirely up to you.
I don't think so. I'm not doing anything wrong. It's not illegal to walk yet. I'm good. Yeah.
You'd be writing about it if it was.
That's right. No, yeah.
So
yeah.
Your aim is your aim to go up, sorry, just to like ascertain exactly, is your aim to go up and talk to this person, or is your aim to just try and follow them and get a better look?
I will identify their face before I go up and talk to them.
Okay.
I just want to catch up to them, and that's right. I'll catch up to them and you know, kind of not shirt front them, just like catch up and then get ahead and then look back, I think. Okay. You know?
Yeah.
But not make a big deal out of it. Not just like, who are you? Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Not doing anything wrong.
No. I'm just trying to work out whether I need you to make a roll for anything or not.
No. I have no desire to be hidden. I have no desire to sprint. I would like to catch up to this person.
Okay. So they are going to probably work out, depending on like how quickly you catch up to them. Like, they are going at a reasonable pace, as you are. But it is going to take like a little bit to catch them unless you want to sprint.
No.
So there is a chance that they're going to realize that someone is walking behind them and seems to be following them because you are keeping the same path that they are.
That's fine.
You're not sure whether or not they do. But they continue to walk through sort of the streets.
I guess if I get within earshot, I'd probably shout out, "Excuse me," and just see if they turn around.
Okay. You shout out, "Excuse me." They don't seem to break stride. Like, they continue walking. Mm-hmm. It is the middle, like, sort of mid-morning or the middle of the day. So again, it is possible they just like didn't know that you were talking to them.
That's fine.
That you didn't say like a specific name, but they just keep going. Eventually they will turn down a sort of one of the streets and make their way towards a house, and they're going to go up and like knock on the door.
Now, do I get the sense that this person is acting suspiciously? Are they like? Do they know do they hear me and ignore me? Can I roll psychology on the back of someone's head?
Yeah, go ahead. It's going to be difficult to ascertain given you're not seeing them. Go ahead and make a psychology roll.
It done. It failed.
No idea. Honestly, you don't know. They could have just not heard you or not known that you were talking to them.
That's fine.
genuinely cannot tell.
Do I
But
know
they
the house
do
they're
eventually
knocking
make
on?
their way up to the house, and as they turn and sort of like knock on the door, do you want to get like close enough at this point so that they know that like you are trying to speak to them, or are you
Yeah.
gonna like hang back?
No, I'm not hiding. Do I know the house they're knocking on?
Not off the top of your head.
That's fine. If I'm the only one around now, I'll try again. Excuse me. And they stopped.
You see that like they turn their head towards you as you say excuse me and get closer, and they sort of look at you and you can see a slightly confused look on their face, and then a door opens and you can hear from the inside a very old voice saying, Kenneth, oh, thank you for coming to visit. And you see that they like sort of turn away and you can hear a voice going, Mother, it's lovely to see you. And they walk on inside the house and the doors close.
I'm gonna go up there and knock on the door.
Okay. You knock on the door.
Did I see the face?
Yeah.
That's not good. I'll go up there and knock on the door.
Okay, you knock on the door. The door, like, it takes a few moments, then the door opens. Kenneth is standing there. Yes? Can I help you?
Kenneth? Are you all right?
I'm fine.
You were shot
Annabelle,
yesterday.
isn't it? I was what?
You were shot
Oh,
by the deputy.
maybe.
I was there.
All right. I'm sorry. Is this some kind of prank?
No. We were at Frank's house. We were at Frank's house, or
You hear a voice from inside.
we're at Fred's house.
Dear, is everything all right? He goes,
And you were shot. You
yes,
came
Mother.
in and Deputy Alexander he shot you.
He's gonna like step a little outside and like slightly close the door and go, okay, I'm not sure exactly what's going on here.
Neither am
I'm
I.
trying to say hello to my mother, and you are saying some things that are deeply disturbing, and I would really prefer it if you didn't disturb her.
I'd be happy. I'd be happy not to disturb anyone. Where were you last night?
I'm so,
Where were you last night?
I'm sorry. Are you the police?
No.
What is going
Just
on
just
here?
an innocent question. Just an innocent question for from a neighbor. I'm just a little bit
All right.
concerned.
I think whatever's going on, I think you need to leave. This is ridiculous. Please, if you don't mind, Ms. Hearn, I think I recognize you. You're one of the people who work at the steakhouse, yes?
That's right. That's right. And
Right.
look, do you have a brother? Do you have a twin? Do you have a doppelganger? Someone who looks exactly like you was shot last night. I'm sorry to have to be the one to tell you, but you can understand my reaction. I was there. Someone who looked exactly like you was shot last night. I'm not lying. I'm not lying here. You can understand my shock. I'm persuade.
I don't know what you
persuade
think you
here.
saw, but I'm gonna, again, ask you to leave. I'd like to say hello to my mother, and this is disturbing, if you would be so kind.
Absolutely. And I would love to leave you alone. It's just that there's some other folks in town who are going to have the exact same reaction that I'm having right now. And, you know, I'm happy to help clear it up for you. If that wasn't you last night, then
you
something
can
weird's
tell-
happening.
Okay, well, you tell whoever is going to be concerned that everything's fine. I'd
Well, that's why I'm
prefer
just
not to have
wondering-
these reactions again, as I said.
Absolutely. I'd love to get ahead of it for you. If I can just tell me where you were last night, I'll let the deputy know that something's gone a bit awry here, and I'll help sort it out for you. Like I said, I was there. I was there. There was someone who looked just like you, broke into a house, and deputy shot him. So, and I was going to go speak to the deputy anyway. So just let me know where you were last night, and I can get ahead of it for you. And then, you know, you won't be disturbed for the rest of the evening at least. This is a very persuasive argument, I think you'll find.
Go ahead and make me sway check.
Just sneaking in.
He looks at you, says, I appreciate your concern very much, but my private business is my own, and I don't particularly feel like I need to explain my whereabouts to anyone, unless for some reason the police have a concern about my whereabouts, for which sounds potentially like they might, but if they do, they can come and speak to me. So as much as I appreciate your concern, I'm going to again ask you to leave.
That's fine. That's fine. The last thing I wanted to do here was to bother you, Mr. McGurdy.
Well,
so
I'm
I'm glad you're
bothered
looking.
me,
Well,
so-
then I'd like to stop immediately, and I'm glad to see you looking well, and I'll leave you in peace.
Have a good day, Miss Hearn. And he's going to turn... Can you make a spot hidden check?
Ooh, another one. I'm good at those now. Hey.
He's, pretty comfortably dressed. Not
Any bullet
incredibly so.
holes?
Looks healthy and hale.
I was looking for a hard spot hidden there, wasn't I? All right.
I'm not going to tell you what you were looking for.
No, that's fine. That's fine. Good. I would like to go to the police with haste.
Are you going on your own, or would you like to wait until your companions have finished
That's a
their
good question.
day?
I think I'll do that. No, yeah. I rather than going straight to police, I'd probably better talk to the people who saw the same thing with me, so that I can get my story straight and make sure my head's still good, and then we'll go to police. That's a better idea. Let's do that.
What you will then see as you're sort of like going about the rest of your day is there do seem to be a number of bailiffs moving around the town, a few of them rapping on doors, seeming in relatively stern conversation with residents, pointing sort of outwards. And if you make your way out, either to like on the edges to listen in, you will essentially hear a conversation of, you have 24 hours to vacate before we vacate for you.
I don't like this at all.
And what you will sort of like notice is there has been closer in the area, sort of more in like, I guess, the downtown. It's technically a small town, so there isn't really a downtown, but sort of the area of where like things are being developed a bit more. So some of the cheaper buildings, like the newer ones. A little bit further out where Fred has a house. In fact, you can probably find Fred's house. There is a notice that has been affixed to the door that says that by order of like the bank, essentially, that the loan has been foreclosed, and
wow.
that anyone in this residence has been asked to vacate within 20 minutes.
It's
and you can see a
happening all over the
number
place.
of these notices on houses, some of which, a lot of which have their like windows, like the blinds closed. Whether or not there's people inside, you're not sure, but it has the air of oppression that you're definitely not used to.
It's no bueno. I need to find my pals.
If the timing works out for a regroup, I'm possibly there getting the notice so that I can take it to the bank and meet up with Wesley.
Absolutely. You were like informed of this yesterday, so
Yeah.
the notice has been put up like in your absence. It's not that people have come around to inform you. You were, for whatever reason, at the bank yesterday, and you have been informed of that fact. But you are able to go and like find the notice and collect it. Before, as you're like heading out, Laurie will stop you briefly. Like she'll sort of like lean out and holler out one of the windows, and just very briefly be like, "Fred, you'll never guess.
What?
Andrew McDermott was having an affair." Do with that what you will. She sticks her head back inside and starts like, and it just goes, "Holiday? I think not." And then, just kind of like closes the window and goes back, and you can see her nattering away to the person who she's like, doing the like massaging the shampoo into their hair, and you can see the mouth movements of, "Oh no!" It's just that constantly. If anyone has
Classic
seen Faulty
Laurie.
Towers and knows Sybil, the character from Faulty Towers, just imagine that, but like just full customer service mode. That's who we're looking at here.
That's fun. She's
So
gonna
she
die
drops
first.
that bit on
Yeah.
you as you like leave for the day and collect. So Eloise, you said that you were going to drop in on a couple of the families. Did you want
I would say
to
that'll be
do
like the
that?
at the end of the day, last period of the day. So probably like just before 3 p.m. So maybe 2:15, 2:30. That's probably the time that she'd go do that, because
Right,
that way,
so
if I run into the rest of the individuals, I'll be done for the day.
Yeah, I could have also, we could, rather than lunch, say that there's a little after.
Yeah, we'll pick it up.
Late lunch.
I actually ate
I'll
a
say
lot of eggs
potentially, like-
for breakfast, so I'm not really
Yeah.
That's very
Yeah.
reasonable. So Eloise, you are going to drop in. So you've got the Ferguson twins, who you know are Wesley's nieces.
Mhm.
And then you've also got Brad Smith and Todd Coombs, who you know, like, from speaking to Katie, that these two are like quite close friends.
Yeah.
So,
They're neighbors, like they live near each other.
Yeah.
I cannot hear
Um,
Katie without picturing Jim's timed up character.
I
Yeah.
did. Catherine
Grafted
then with a
in
C.
my brain.
Kathy. She
Kath.
can be a Kathy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'll probably whoever's closest first, and then continue on.
Oh, I could not tell you that, I'm afraid. It's probably on the map somewhere.
Pick one. Yeah.
We'll say, we'll say that you drop in on the two boys first, and you speak to their parents, and their parents are just as confused as you are.
Okay.
They are
That's not
both like,
great.
I would say, like, probably later on in the afternoon, it's probably only like maybe one of the mothers that's home. The other one is probably out. So we'll say you speak to like Brad's mum, and she goes, no, they headed off to school like normal in the morning. I don't know what to tell you. I'll have words for them when they come home.
Have not. Yes, they have not been arriving. Apparently, and Kathy let me know this morning. At their age, a little bit of testing the boundaries, testing the rules is certainly expected to a degree, but you do want to nip truancy in the bud quite early on. I'm sure you understand, if they believe that they can get away with it, they will.
Oh, absolutely. Thank you so much for coming and telling me, Miss Berger. I really appreciate it. We'll have a chat with Brad, and I'll let Todd's mother know.
That would be lovely.
Happening. Thank you. That, like, unless you want to talk to her any further, that's
she seems. Can I do like a psychology to see if she is lying to me, like she does know that her kid's not there.
Psychology roll.
I mean, she seems sincere, but you get a. No, she's sincere. She's completely sincere. I believe every single word she says. Yeah.
Yeah. Everything. Like, she seems like a concerned mother. She definitely, there's like, you would absolutely, as a teacher, be able to read that tiny little spark of like, someone's getting in some shit ass trouble.
I'm usually pretty good at spotting lies, but they're usually like 14.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. So that one, is she seems like a mother who is thankful that someone came and told her that her child has been skiving off class, and is definitely going to have a word with them about lying when they get.
And it's probably, I'm thinking, as I walk away from the property, I was probably thinking it's best that I did this, not Kathy, because we know how sometimes we just don't want the boys to think that their dear educator Kathy was involved in dobbing them in. By saying it was me who came by, I might be sparing them a little bit of extra rambunctiousness from the boys, a little bit of troublemaking, some vengeance-related troublemaking from the boys when they are forced back into class.
So you then make your way over to the Ferguson house. Knock on the door, and it's a few moments before Glenda Ferguson, Wesley's sister and the girl's mother, opens and says, "Oh, hello, Miss Bircher. What can I do for you? Do come in."
Yes. Oh, thank you. It was a bit of a stroll. I wouldn't mind a glass of water if that's all right.
Yes, of course. Come in. I was just baking, and she sort of leads you in, and a little bit down into the kitchen area. It is not unusual for teachers, especially, to be brought into kitchens, as kind of more of a, like, it seems to be like a bit more of a traditional, either like a member of staff or member of family kind of aspect. So she brings you into the kitchen. You can see the kitchen is absolutely covered in flour and sugar and like baking soda. This woman seems to, and like it seems to have been baking up a storm. Like there are at least 3 cakes that are sitting in various states of cooling and being decorated in here. She says, water, was it? Goes over and
that would be
gets a glass
delightful.
of water, puts it in front of you, and just sort of like stands there looking at you.
Yes, unfortunately, well, the twins haven't been in class the last few days, and we wanted to just get ahead of that one. You know, truancy can definitely evolve into more significant troublemaking activities. We just want to get a handle on that one early, and I also just wanted to check in if it's not a truancy issue and to see if there's anything, if the boys are, if the kids are okay, if they're unwell, or if there was anything we needed to be informed of. Any reason for them to be absent?
No, the girls are fine. They've just been busy. And she'll turn around and go, girls, one of your teachers is here. And you hear from down the hall a little muffled coming. And the sound of 2 sets of feet heading in your direction.
I think it's kind of odd that she's kind of concerned, but like they've been busy. Like they're her what, 10-year-olds, 12-year-olds.
Go ahead and give me a second.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, this is like with the 2 boys who were friends. Being unaware seems normal. This is a bit weird. No, never mind.
She seems a little out of it.
And I am remembering what Wesley told me about how challenging it was to get in touch with his family recently. And I'm like, yeah, maybe there is something going on with this fam.
Yeah.
But
so,
also,
yeah.
She's got twins. Seems like it'd be tough.
It's genuinely like, as you have the thought she's got twins, you like the footsteps get closer and you see 2 quite sort of prim and proper looking young ladies. One of them has her hair down in pigtails and the other one has it up in sort of like pigtails but like in a little bun. They look eerily identical. They are very, very close in I mean they're literally identical twins. And
lots of twins.
Definitely find it difficult to tell them apart. You see Glenda says, Shirley, Maxine, Miss Bircher here was just asking why you hadn't been to class. And I told them you were busy. And one of them goes, oh, hello, Miss Bircher. It's nice to see you. We've just been working on some homeschooling.
And your mother is unaware of this?
No, Mummy's aware. Daddy's been helping us.
Right. Well, if I could perhaps speak to your mother and father about this, that would be lovely, because unfortunately the school was not informed that you would be homeschooling. They
kind of like look at each other, and then the other one pipes and goes, Mother, you didn't let the school know that we were going to be doing some homeschooling to increase our education. And Glenda sort of looks at them and goes, oh, yes. I'm sorry, Miss Bircher. I meant to let you know. It just got a little distracted. And the younger one, like the one that spoke first, it looks at you and goes, do you know much about anatomy, Miss Bircher?
Well, yes, I am in charge of the sciences at school. I was at a music festival yesterday, so my voice is like.
Eloise was.
We're on the edge. We're on the very cusp, and I can feel it going.
They like hearing that you do sciences, they look excitedly at you and go, Miss Cartwright knows absolutely nothing about sciences, and we've been trying to understand as much as we can. There's so much to learn about the muscle structure and the veins and the fascia and all kinds of interesting things. And like one of them like disappears off and then comes back mere moments later with a fully like splayed open frog and goes, "Can you tell us more about exactly how the electromagnetic signals, just the electronic signals move through the muscular structure? We've been trying to work it out and we just really can't. We really need help." They just keep like
in the back of Eloise's mind, she's thinking, "I think you need Jesus."
I agree.
Oh, he did come back to life. This frog is about to. I have to make a guess.
I would also.
Well,
can
my
you
dears,
just
that is a
quickly-
little bit. Yeah.
Can you just quickly give me a? I'm gonna make this a spot and
brawl.
hidden check.
Finally, yes.
Most families in this area have pets.
Yeah,
This family
does not.
seems rather devoid of them.
Oh,
And you
did.
know, it's a small town. I probably would have known.
Sparky.
You know, and you know, it'd be a thing. You know, it's school assemblies, and after the holidays, what did you do? And I'd know pretty well. I'm the school teacher. I'd know pretty well. You know, between Kathy and myself, we'd know, you know, who got the new puppy, and you know, what the cat's name is, and which kid maybe needs more friends than just a parrot. Like, you know, like pets are important to children, and we would know that maybe this family, the Fergusons, yeah, they had a guinea pig, as far as I knew, and the cage is not there, and the frog is open, and
With that spot hidden, the cage is there.
the cage is there. Okay, it's empty.
No.
Right? Yeah.
Oh, Sparky.
Put the children in the cage.
But they continue to sort of like go ahead. Actually, for this one, can you go ahead also and make me a chemistry roll? I want to see how good you are at this, and we'll allow this to count towards chemistry, biology, and physics. When you get down to brass tacks, are all
It's
essentially
sciences.
like
I mean,
levels. Yeah. So we'll allow this to stand as like sort of a basic understanding.
Yeah, I'm adequate.
You are like. So they talk animatedly at you about the way that sort of like the musculature structure of like this animal works and the internal organs, and isn't it interesting that when you like have a look at the interior of the lung structure, that it is not in fact a balloon like most people would think it would be, but it is a number of small pockets that are able to like be filled with air and then oxygenate the blood. Like they are going into detail that is truly wild
it's
for
beyond
two
me.
12-year-olds. And frankly, you are able to hold up on the science end, but it becomes quite clear quite quickly that their understanding of anatomy has already outstripped your understanding of it, and you are only really following what they're saying from like a basic science perspective. You also note that they clock this quite quickly and seem to start to lose interest in talking to you, and eventually they will say, "Well, thank you so much for dropping by, Miss Bircher, but we really should be getting on. We're going to go. Daddy's been helping us, so we're going to go and keep working, if that's all right.
Sure.
We'll make sure that Mummy and Daddy send a letter letting the school know that we're going to be doing some homeschooling for the moment."
Well, thank you, girls. That's very industrious of you, Mrs. Ferguson.
She in this time
has gone back. Yeah.
fully like turned around and continued to make cakes. Like, is continuing to like bake. And
Yeah, she can
like,
do that.
Turns around, you can see like flour on her apron. She turns around and goes, "Yes, sorry."
Mrs. Ferguson, what those girls are studying, what your husband is teaching them, far be it from me to critique the path that you have chosen for your own children. However, that is well beyond the educational level of two young girls. They are clearly very intelligent young women and would benefit from a advanced education. Homeschooling of this manner, though, I just want to make sure that they're getting a balanced education and not just focusing on the one thing, no matter how enthusiastic they seem to be in regards to pursuing it. I am concerned not only that the school was not notified that you would be moving to a homeschooling model. Kathy has been rather upset about it, as she did not know where the girls were and was concerned something had happened to them. It's not appropriate to homeschool your children without informing the Board of Education.
Yes,
we needed to
of
be
course.
notified so that proper resources can be distributed to you to ensure that the girls are getting an appropriate, effective schooling. And quite frankly, as bright as they clearly are, I do not think that that is what is happening here. And I don't mean to sound harsh, and if I have been, I'm sorry. And I would also like to inquire, are you okay?
Okay. So I will say at this point the girls have gone. I'm going to make a roll on my end.
Ooh.
Yeah.
And I'm going
Okay.
to whisper this one to myself. I just need to find the old character sheet.
Alex, I hope you don't take this the wrong way. I believe you as a teacher. I think in another life,
Yeah.
you would have had a red hot go at it.
Guess what my dad was?
Ah.
Mm,
Apple tree.
she sort of like, as you say, are you okay? There's sort of like a moment, a pause. She says, oh, no, I'm fine. Just very busy at the moment. I am very sorry that we didn't inform the school. I absolutely thought I had. That's on me. But yes, I will make sure that the school, and if you could pass it on to the school board, that the girls will be maintaining some home schooling for a little while. We were informed that the girls were special, and we want their gifts to flourish. We want the seeds of inspiration to grow and develop. Very important.
Can I look around for any like bottles?
Absolutely. Go ahead and make a spot hidden.
Fun fact in word choice. I'm pretty sure that Seeds of Inspiration is the stat line, the profile line for the monsters from the last scenario
They're bad.
that we had. As in Seeds
yes.
of Inspiration
Yes,
are the
yes.
ones that.
Nope, I will cut that off as me just being
No.
like, that was a line that I was.
Yeah,
that
no,
is
100%.
different.
I
Not
read-
the same thing. Don't worry, we're not dealing with that particular horror.
Same universe.
But seeds.
Da, da,
Yep.
da.
Yep. Nope.
Any trips to Europe recently?
Yeah.
Hard success.
Europe
Okay.
making masterpiece.
There are decidedly no bottles. There is does not appear to be any form of alcohol, if that is what you're looking for.
Yeah.
Glancing around the kitchen, no alcohol. You don't without going through cupboards, obviously you're not going to be able to tell, but it's not like you see a vial of laudanum sitting out on the counter or anything like that. It just, the stuff that's on the counter is cooking. You have already spotted the decided absence of pets, although perhaps I will allow this to be a slight retroactive. While the girls were very well put together, there were some slight stains on the edge of their pinafore. And I will allow spot hidden while technically being a visual thing to also be an olfactory thing, and let you know that you
We don't have a
pick up-
smell hidden, so you know.
No, but you are a chemist.
Uh-huh.
And you are clearly attentive. There is absolutely, just underneath the smell of fresh baking cakes, the smell of turpentine and formaldehyde.
Where the fuck are 10-year-olds getting that?
They're 12. But that's
Oh,
still
yeah,
a very
that
good
makes
question.
sense.
That's
There's a
fine,
12-year-old, so no, that's
Let-
fine.
let him
Yeah,
leave
yeah.
him
And
do
I
it.
will
Let
say,
him do it.
like,
Off we go.
With a hard, that smell is dissipating as the two of them have left. That seems to be attached to their claw.
Oh god, I just
Hate
read into
this.
some of the things that were said and got
You got the egg. James got the egg. Jim has the egg.
There's maybe might be me reading one too deep in. I hope Dad isn't literally helping them with their research. It just occurred to
The
me.
children.
You do also like generally like the girls have left, and you
Jackson got the egg.
can.
Took me a little while.
You can like you also catch again. Actually, this one would technically be a listen. So if you could give me a listen roll, that would...
Yeah, I'm kind of just like, what is happening here? Any kind of, where are we? No, I have my character sheet. Yeah, looking and listening for the weird shit.
There is the definite like there's some kind of hum or like rumble that's coming from like further into the house and maybe like down. Slight buzzing coming. The closest you could put your finger on is maybe some kind of motor.
Oh, I hate that.
Do
you know what? I'm gonna go look because I think Mrs. Ferguson seems checked out. Like she's very vague. She's been very, very vague, and she seems kind of checked out. And I'm not really getting an answer from her. Normally, I would just respect the sanctity of the home. These kids are freaking me the heck out. So,
so
gosh darn it, I'm going in.
You head down the hallway, and you head down the hallway a little bit, and you actually see the two girls are standing like a little bit further down. They are near a door that you're not sure where it heads to. It's a closed door. And the two of them are sort of standing, kind of talking quite quietly to one another, just like in a little, as small children and sisters are wont to do. They are having a little chat privately with each other. And as you walk down the hall, they see you and they go, again, definitely hard to tell which one is which. One of the two, Miss Percher, hello. Did Mother send you to find us?
I am looking for your father, actually. I would like a word with him.
Oh, I'm afraid Daddy's indisposed at the moment, but we can take a message.
That's very kind of you. Indisposed how?
Just indisposed.
I thought he was helping you.
He was. And he is. He's just indisposed at the moment. Is there something wrong, Miss Bircher? Was there something you wanted specifically?
To speak to your father, but he is what, asleep?
Indisposed.
All right, children. Enjoy your studies.
We will. The Reverend says we're ever so bright.
Does he now?
They exchange, like, one of them... I'll give you this. One of them absolutely nudges the one that just said that. You watch, like, a slight shift, and there is a glance that is exchanged between the two of them, which, without a psychology roll, you will not be able to read, but they definitely exchange glances.
I'm not entirely sure.
And they just, like... The smiles on both of their faces go a little bit more rigid.
Have I seen their father lately in church? Around town, around the schoolyard?
At this point...
Picking them up from school, maybe?
You did make a check last session as to whether or not you caught anyone going up and speaking to the Reverend after church on Sunday. And at that point, you weren't able to really clock whether or not you saw anyone. However, at this mention... it does start to like swim a little bit more into focus. You are pretty sure that you saw the family at church. And given this, like what they just said, it is possible that they were in that group at that time. Now you're still not 100% sure, but like something makes, like, you've got a hunch that you're like, oh, this is, it's possible. You didn't see them, you didn't not see them, but it is possible that is, because you absolutely did see them at church on Sunday, yes, and that would have been the last time you saw Donald Ferguson.
Okay. Well, I've seen him fairly recently, so I think these, as far as I'm concerned, these kids are just not getting the care and the education that they need or deserve, and it's made them kind of a little weird. And their dad's probably just sick of this whole thing. Whatever, he's gone for a nap. That's fine. Yeah, he's gone down to the barber or whatever, whatever. So I'm gonna leave and keep that in mind. And it's interesting they mentioned the Reverend because he was who I was going to talk to about this. He is still the Reverend after all, but maybe not now.
Perhaps not. I'm going to give.
Yeah, no, maybe not anymore. Maybe not. Maybe we just Do you know, Annabelle is always writing letters. That might be a good idea. I might send a correspondence to the Board of Education, the state board. This is possibly beyond my pay grade.
So are you gonna head out of the house?
Yeah, I'm gonna leave. I'm not gonna go beating down any doors. Yeah.
As you sort of make your way out, the girls say, "Have a lovely day, Miss Bircher," and they open the door and head into whatever area of the house this is and close it. You catch a lock getting clicked. Just it is something that is audible enough, and it does not appear that they're, you catch it. As you make your way out of the house, you sort of say goodbye to Miss Ferguson. There's a moment where like her body tenses, and she doesn't turn around and look at you, but you hear her say under her breath, "Be careful the eye in the sky. It's watching all of us."
Sure. I'm gonna leave.
And you will...
Family.
You do hear, as you like kind of shake your head and walk out, you hear very faintly, "Help."
Yeah, there's not much I can do here and now, but I'm going to tell Wesley, I'm going to tell the Board of Education, I'm going to tell everybody.
Good.
Great, wonderful, awesome, cool, great, chill, awesome. Good.
So,
yeah, cool, great.
We will get the four of you
Thanks.
coming together at the bank. What you will all see as you arrive, Wesley, you are inside at this point. You have had a day. We will get to, well, kind of mash it all together. What you
Can I
will
say
see is
one very quick thing?
Absolutely.
I think it'd be funny that when we all split up, we were kind of like, oh, we'll meet at lunchtime. And I think that obviously plans change slightly. Wesley doesn't deal with that well. I've been stressing since lunch, being like, they were taken. Are they coming? Like slowly. I've got a little paper bag that's frayed next to me, which I keep kind of. Anyway.
Have you tried any of the pancakes?
I put them on a table in the morning when I did my pass through and was like, here, everyone, please partake. I actually feel quite sick.
Lovely. So when you arrived, and similar to when the rest of you arrived, there is a small crowd of people outside the bank who are definitely in a more aggressive stance. They seem to be rather annoyed, and there do seem to be a few more security personnel out the front of the large double doors. The doors are open, as they are to let people sort of into the main building, but there is absolutely people kind of keeping a bit of a perimeter between this slightly angry crowd or getting angrier crowd. The general hubbub appears to be, how could they do this? I don't have anywhere to go. You get a sense from everything that you've encountered that it's not just Fred who has been told that he needs to leave. Inside, the bank itself is a little more frenetic. A number of staff, definitely you can see are more like hunched down, trying to stay sort of out of sight, out of mind, whether that be from the like management itself. Definitely as people like enter and exit for like, you know, the beginning or end of the day or even lunchtime, you can absolutely hear a few of them getting hounded by this crowd, and the sort of very faint kind of apologetic, it's not my fault, I can't. You also see that during the day, one by one, each of you are being called into the manager's office, Mr. Bingham, and on at least one occasion, you can see like someone come back out looking slightly shell-shocked, is given a brief moment to put all of their belongings into a cardboard box and then is escorted out of the building by one of the interior guards. And you sort of hear from the open manager's door, I do not accept mistakes in this establishment. Time is money, and when you waste time, you cost money. And then you hear, Mr. Frost.
This dude gets it.
I will have. Did I have any time to have heard any of that kind of throughout the day?
Oh, absolutely. Yes, it is.
Can I have? I think at this, I saw someone die last night. We're getting to the business end of things. Something has to be done. Can I, like, seeing the writing on the wall, like, clear my loan on my house?
My God, he's gone rogue.
If they're all busy, I'm just gonna like, I get the paperwork out. I'm looking around.
Just like,
make an accounting roll.
Yes.
Ooh,
the
finally.
accounting roll.
Here we go.
Now
Is
we're
I
he
want
good at
everyone
his
to know
job?
as I make this roll, I work at a bank.
Oh,
5%.
very nice.
Okay.
My
Standing.
accounting is 35, is why I mentioned that. But I'll tell you what, I will give you a few points of luck, Art. I want that to be an extreme success. I clear.
Okay.
I
All right.
type myself.
This is the
You're
man.
not
Absolutely.
taking my
Greatest
house.
banker.
Sure.
And I mail it to myself in triplicate. I go out
this
to
is the
post box
most
to put it in. I wrap it in wrapping
millennial
paper.
reaction. This
Yeah,
is the
this
most
is the true
quintessentially
terror.
millennial reaction to like,
I don't care
this
about
is the true
children.
terror of
Yep.
Call of Cthulhu is you might be losing your house. I don't. Yeah. I will.
So
The only illegal thing I'll ever do, clear the
The
loan, clear the loan, clear the loan.
bag.
you managed to, you absolutely managed to clear the loan. You're pretty sure that all of the bases are covered. It would take someone incredibly capable
Yep.
to like follow that, because as far as like anyone is concerned, this is all 100% above board. Like it is all
Right.
checks and balances, all check out. But you do get called at one point into Mr. Bingham's office. Do you go in?
I do, and I think I've embraced my criminalhood now. I think my hand stops shaking. I think my back squares a little. I'm
Oh.
like, yeah, I can do this.
Hell yeah.
I stroll in.
Mr. Frost, how are you?
Boss, doing good. How are you?
I am doing better now. We're clearing the wheat from the chaff. So, I understand that you have been working for us for a while now, and I've had a look over your records.
Yeah, you have. Well, that's good to hear. What did you find?
That your balance sheets are crystal clear, with very few, if no, errors. And as such, I would like to put you in charge of the team that is responsible for reclaiming the loans.
Oh, okay. Well,
You will be
Mr.
working
Frost-
alongside. You'll be working alongside Mr. Smith, someone who is also in charge for setting up a new fee structure for our bank. Anyone who stores money with us will be charged a premium to do so.
I see.
And as there are a number of people who have been storing their money with us for some time, these fees will be retroactive. So, we would like you to work on clearing loans, and you'll be working alongside Mr. Smith, who will be working on reclaiming those fees. The number one most important thing is do not make mistakes. Mistakes cost time, and time is money.
But
The most important thing after that is profit, Mr. Frost. Do I make myself clear?
I understand, sir. A quick question, and Mr. Bingham, with your priorities in mind, is this technically legal? Because that's not one of your priorities.
There is an iciness that comes across Mr. Bingham. Like, you do not need a psychology roll to see this man bristle at that comment.
Just to be clear, in case I was unclear, I'm trying to do a little bit of a wink, wink.
Oh, no, I understand. I absolutely understand. He bristles at the idea and goes, Mr. Frost, everything we are doing is 100% legal. And if you're unsure about the legalities, I suggest you take it up with the deputy or a member of the courts. As far as I am concerned, they are the ones that are supporting us with this reclamation of property. Everything is above board, and everything should be above board. I want your balance sheets to be in the black and clean as a whistle.
I
make myself clear.
What I just meant is, if you need me to, confirm it's legal or explain to anyone it is, I'm your man, Mr. Bingham.
Wonderful. And perhaps you can explain to that crowd outside that what we're doing is entirely legal.
I'll go right ahead and do that.
Thank you, Mr. Frost. That will be all. Keep up the good work.
I will turn and head out. And
oh, by the way, fully, you don't need a psychology roll. That was a threat.
Yeah. I get the vibe. Oh, God.
Well done for getting extreme success in your accounting. That pretty much did it.
Yeah,
that's fun. That's
wow.
Fun.
I'm getting big Martin Freeman and Fargo vibes.
Yes.
At the minute, as I understand. Like, okay, all right.
So we will say for the benefit of everyone.
This is called failing upwards.
Yeah, it really is. You kind of make your way sort of outside, and you, like, as you're sort of in the main area, you can see a lot of staff like looking at you and looking quite worried. There is again, no psychology roll needed. There is a general sense of disturbance and fear in the bank at the moment. Everyone is industrious, but it is an industry that comes from not wanting to look idle, not necessarily because people are trying to do work that needs doing. This one of the sort of security guards comes and accompanies you as you have intimated that you were planning to exit and talk to the crowd. Do you, as you step outside and you look at this like slowly growing crowd of people who are unhappy?
Have I spotted the others amongst the crowd?
If we're in it, we'll try and wave to Wesley.
Yeah.
I would like to know how you're dealing with this crowd. No matter what happens, we will allow you to escape with your friends.
What if we're trying to start a riot? Actually, Annabelle, do you want to get a bit of a chant going here? Do you want to look these people in the shape?
Absolutely.
Sort them out.
Yeah.
I don't.
And if I can have cockily like dismissed the security guard beforehand, I'll happily attempt to do that. But my plan is that if there's a riot outside, I'm on the side of the rioters, and I will tell them all of the dirt that I have and explain things. And then if I end up back inside, I'm completely on the side of the bank. I just don't want to get hit. And at this stage.
So if you're planning to talk to the crowd, the security guard won't be dismissed. He will go along with you because you are essentially working as an agent of the bank in this. So if you say anything to smear the bank, it is going to be heard by the guard. But you can absolutely
I want Jim to go from an extreme accounting immediately to fumbling an intimidation roll or something, and just immediately being fired.
Annabelle, would you like to just make a general either charm or persuasion check to get a vibe of how much that you've managed to rile this crowd up?
Absolutely. I would love to do that. I think that's pretty persuasive. Hey, ho, ho, there are homes and we won't go. Hey, ho, ho, There are homes and we won't go.
We won't go. I join.
I really hope if I do have to make a social check, I get up to do it, and then, as has been happening today, I freeze again. My computer crashes and it's nothing. That'd be fun.
Absolutely. You are able to fully like freeze in front of this crowd and not really know what to do. You will catch sight of your friends, and like you can absolutely just hunch your shoulders and make a beeline for them and try and like look like you were never going to talk to the crowd at all and try and like, dissuade them from looking at you.
I basically say to everyone, I'm going to go out and talk to the crowd, and then I walk out and don't talk to the crowd and just join my friends.
We have to get out of here. That sucks.
You go ahead and make a stealth check for me real quick.
Okay.
This is only going to determine the kind of reception that you get.
For sure. Okay.
Get him. He's with the bank.
You may push it if you wish. This isn't necessarily a failure of like terrible proportions. If you want to push it, you absolutely can. Pushing it, if you fail, you are going to be dealing with an enraged crowd as opposed to just an annoyed one. Otherwise,
I'm happy. I'll just let it sit. I'll take the crowd.
You are going to get jeered and yelled at by the people around you. I am going to ask for a sanity check, because what essentially you're dealing with is a bunch of people that are saying that it is your fault that they are losing their homes, and how could you, and what kind of person are you, you monster. You're getting a lot of stuff that they would like to hurl at Mr. Bingham, but it's being hurled at you instead. So I sanity check just to kind of handle that situation.
It's not my fault. It's not like my loan was just, oh wait, it was. I fail.
You're going to take a single point of sanity as just the weight of the situation hits you. This is less like losing your mind and more just like losing your ability to manage your emotional stability in this situation. And you sort of hunch your shoulders and like squirrel your way around, trying to get as far away from the jeers and the yells as possible as you make your way to join your friends. Yes, Annabelle.
Can I have a sanity roll for talking to a dead man this morning?
Oh, absolutely. Sorry. Yes, I should have done that for sure. Also,
seeing the insides of a frog.
Yes, I would like to have an. Oh, I've made Dave make sanity rolls today already. So yes, absolutely.
I'm having a pretty good
Eloise,
day,
if you can, and Annabelle. Okay.
Big or fail.
When you learn that your gossip that you shared wasn't potentially true, that's when you're gonna have to make the sanity check.
It wasn't really hot goss.
I'm gonna take a point away from the two of you.
Oh, come on, more than a point. I spoke to the dead man walking.
You did speak
I saw
to the
him
dead man.
die, and he had no memory of the situation.
All right, take a D4 then.
I want a D4, if that's all right.
Hey.
You are welcome to take a D4.
Oh no.
No.
I started mine without knowing the right.
It was a 1 anyway.
Oh.
Never mind.
This is all unsettling. None of it is deeply disturbing just yet. But yes, you were all sort of like you're starting. This is an indication that your emotional state is starting to fray. Your ability to kind of like hold it together. But you all meet up. And you'll see that there is like someone who is passing like a flyer around within the crowd, just like passing flyers out. You're not sure what about.
I take a flyer.
Sure. It lets you know that there is going to be a musical concert at the church
What?
by one Bert Lowry, who you know is the father of one of your contemporaries at school. Raymond Lowry, who is the father of Bert Lowry, one of your contemporaries at school.
Wow.
Also one of the pre-generated investigators we're not playing with today. And he's like a local car salesman, was in your year at school, but his father is putting on a concert at the church.
More things to worry about.
Something.
As soon as we come together, I just unload everything that I've learned. There's all illegal stuff happening. There's no way. So I just vomit everything that's happened.
Me too. Man came back from the dead.
I am quiet for a time.
I realize how little how little impact mine has of like, the Watsits went on vacation, except they didn't make of that what you.
Oh, Okay.
Eloise, when was the last time that you went to get supplies from the farm?
Probably a month ago. Yeah.
Continue as you were.
Okay. I don't think it would have been terribly recent. So I've probably got a good reason to go back there sometime soon. I'm probably running a bit low, but you know. Yeah. I will pull Wesley aside, I think, and privately say quietly to him, do you know your nieces haven't been in class the last couple of days, and I went and
They were hanging up the phone, like I said. Are they all right? Is it?
They're okay. They're at home. They're being homeschooled. But your sister,
she okay?
She seems concerned. Concerning. Concerned is not the right word. Concerning is the word. I mean, she was baking some cakes. The children were studying something well beyond what they should have access to. And I'm not entirely thrilled to see them doing so. I would like to speak to the Board of Education about what kind of homeschooling they are being given and make sure they have the correct resources. And I do think you should go over and see your sister.
Sure. I mean, I will.
She seemed off color.
Well, this whatever behavior weirdness is happening it seems to be spreading. It's affecting everybody. Did you see did you see their father?
No, he was indisposed.
Okay. Well, anyway, thank you for letting me know. We should rejoin the others.
Yeah, and this would have just been like taking him by the elbow, stepped away, like one step. It wasn't like walking away, but yeah.
Except he was cheating on her. He might have a mistress, is the crazy thing. So let's see you top of that.
All right, great. So we're all agreed that we can just walk into the police and ask why a man came back from the dead, right? We saw him die. We saw him.
Yeah.
Let's not get carried away, all right? There's a lot of things that could have happened here. Did you consider twin?
Yeah, I asked. He didn't want to tell me.
Doppelganger.
That's what I asked, and he didn't want to tell me.
Well, that covers it. That's the bulk of them.
And if that is the case, then the police need to be informed of that as well.
Well, the police.
You heard what Bingham was saying at the bank. The Bingham's clearly in on whatever this is. He's acting crazy, and he's got the support of the police. I bet that's why the sheriff is.
Well, why don't I think we should consider going out to the Jensens. I mean, they took the body wherever it was. Maybe he wasn't fully dead. Maybe they just patched him up and sent him back. I mean, a knock to the head might have, thrown him off. That's the most logical thing.
And made him forget all the events of last night, which he did not want to tell me about.
Perhaps. I mean, what else could it be?
I mean, otherwise, and this
Pixies!
Excuse you?
You just hear from above you as you're wandering down. Pixies!
Who said that?
You look up. There is an 85-year-old man hanging off one of the telephone poles, just kind of hanging there.
All right,
little
hey,
sort of like thing. And he's got like a little device like hooked onto one of the not telephone, like the power lines. Hooked onto the power line. No, he just seems to just be sitting there and sort of like he's looked over his shoulder down at you. And as you said, like, what else could be causing this? He just has yelled pixies at you with a big grin on his face. You recognize this man as Old Man Peterson.
Oh, I almost said Mr. Peterson get down as a joke because it was just the first name that came to my head. I cannot believe that it is right. That is hilarious.
So you just this 85-year-old man up a power pole, just like yells pixies as you walk underneath. And then completely goes back to whatever it is he's doing.
This town's gone crazy. We need to find what the source of it is, and we need to make sure we don't have it or we have it immediately so we can be crazy too.
At the point that you say this town has gone crazy, you have made your way. I'm assuming you were sort of vaguely heading in the direction of like the center of the town, like the police station, because that was kind of where you were planning to head.
That's where the cars parked.
Yeah, so you're heading in that direction, and you, as you go past, the door of Elmer's diner slams open. Leonard Elmer, like, stomps out behind a crowd of screaming customers with a hatchet in one hand, screaming bloody murder, and he's holding the head of Felix Tamar in the other.
Oh my god!
What?
That's what we'll pick up next week.
Oh,
I will say, just for
How's that
this,
for escalation?
he is yelling at the top of his lungs.
Pixies?
No, sorry, he's yelling at the top of his lungs. Damn the eye in the sky.
Huh.
Damn that behind the stars.
Oh my
monsters, all of you. Monsters.
Well,
And he's but like
Very
within
good.
babbling, and we will pick up the aftermath of Leonard Elmer
Do we want
stomping
to finish on a
outside,
quick
screaming bloody murder with the head of
sanity check?
Felix.
Do we want to finish on a
Oh
quick
yeah,
sanity check?
go
to
ahead,
see-
make a
Let's
sanity check
finish,
for me.
let's
And this
finish on
one, just
Saturday.
because we're getting
Okay.
to we're getting
How
to
am I
the-
okay with that? I'm probably distracted by the eye in the sky bit. I'm probably like, that's a head. Hang on, eye in the sky.
Or he says "God damn" and you just go, no,
Excuse you.
Excuse
not a
me.
fumble.
Adjust.
Oh my god! Well, that
Fred?
is freaking perfect.
Fred, I would like you to take a penalty on this.
Thank God. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yes, fail.
So those who succeed are going to take a D4. And those
Wow.
who fail,
Oh, perfect.
I think because we're getting into like potentially the last session, I'm not sure whether this is going to go one or two more. We'll see, depending on what time we have. But we're aiming for 3. Please go ahead and take
Big guns, big guns.
take a D10 for me.
Yeah.
Oh,
This is
D10.
somebody's head. This is your
That's
college.
it.
This is
Got his
like-
ass.
Oh, there we go.
Okay.
That's in depth for me too.
Excellent.
Oh, the double hit.
Well, we will find out what that looks like as two of the investigators at that moment snap. And I do want to be clear that if you've just seen a dead body, sure, but this is a man with a bloody hatchet and a man's head screaming at him.
I don't think you needed to justify it. I think that's
calling
fair.
about
I
gods
think
in the
that is
sky.
more than
Yeah.
fair. That is an
That's fun.
acceleration.
Well,
That's a 0 to 100 moment.
Mhm.
That's fun.
those.
So we will find out what the hell is going on next week, and hopefully you can do something to stop whatever this is.
But maybe we won't.
Hello? Maybe we won't.
But you won't.
Yeah.
Maybe
Maybe-
we'll find out next
Maybe
week.
our head will be
Thank you so
detached.
much, everyone, for watching. I hope you're having as horrifying a time as I am. And we will see you all next week.
See you soon.